Hey guys, welcome back to the Spill the Karak podcast. My name is Ahmed.
And I'm Idris.
And this is a continuation of episode 3 where we were speaking about big tech and how evil they are. And we're going to continue that today. So roll the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to episode 4 of the Spill the Karak podcast. Last episode we were talking about big tech and we basically concluded on how they're concisely designed these applications to vie for our attention and kind of make us addicted to them.
Yeah, that's what we concluded with.
Yeah. Something funny, by the way, we recorded this twice because I got a phone call in between.
Yeah.
So it might be a bit weird, but we move.
Okay.
So we want to take a deeper look at why these companies need your attention. Why is the addiction important?
Like last time we concluded on how they get you to be addicted to these things. Or actually not even how, but more like just making you guys realize that you are addicted to these things by giving those examples.
Yeah, because we never want to make conclusions on
Yeah.
your behalf. We just want to tell you that we thought of something.
Yeah.
Maybe you should too.
Yeah.
And a brief summary, I think, would be good at this point. Last time we talked about app design, how apps are designed to be fun, kind of like games.
Yeah.
How the infinite scroll works on the inherent reward system of the brain.
You know, the last time we spoke about this, and you were like, how the refreshing of the newsfeed is kind of like a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the what's it called?
It's like a slot machine.
Slot machines, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook used to have games on Facebook.
True.
Right?
True.
So yeah, I think that also should make you wonder of why does a social media company want to have games on its app?
I mean, on the face value, it's very, you're with your friends, so why not play a game? But maybe think a bit more.
Actually, so like, okay, those games aren't very successful on Facebook, right? Not a lot of people play those games on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I assume, because I don't, and I don't see you do. So that's what my assumption is. That's my world right now.
That's your sample size. 2 people.
Yeah, I think it's enough though. So they're not successful, but what they have been wanting is that stay on our app as long as you can. And right now, if you're bored of Facebook for whatever reason, if you're bored of Insta as well for whatever reason, and Snapchat and so and so, you then probably just go up to your games folder and look for a nice game to play for a couple of minutes until you get a notification.
And also those automated things, like click on this to find out which office character you are.
Yeah,
that's very Facebook.
Yeah,
and everyone does that.
That's what a similar thing was used by Cambridge Analytica.
Oh, okay. That's
for the elections.
That's a whole 50, episode in itself.
50 million people signed up. I think it was about your psychology or something. That if you answer a couple of questions, it decides what kind of a person you are, or something like that. And that is what the data that they gathered.
Yeah,
and on that basis, they were
basically it was one of those online personality tests, and they collected the data for everyone who answered it, and those were I think there were 300 distinct data points per person.
300.
I think I might be completely wrong, but it was something absurd. And using those data points, they created surgical, very precise, targeted ads.
If I know what my customer's personality is, what color he likes, what sounds he likes, what images he likes, I can obviously give you an ad that will sell.
And more importantly, what they dislike.
And they did that for an election.
Mm-hmm.
That's
okay. We're not getting into this. Yeah, we're not getting into
this.
this.
I think this is we just went into what are the repercussion.
Yeah.
But let's talk about let's do an intro on these things before we conclude these things, like why it's bad, like what are the repercussions in the worldview.
So as an introduction, let me ask you this. I'm pretty sure. Let me ask you and everyone listening as well. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we've all been through this at some point in our lives where, let's say it's about 11:30 p.m. We are on our laptop or our phone and we're on YouTube and we click a video. Let's say something relevant to what you want to watch, right?
Yeah.
And 3 hours later, you're watching. Okay, I'm going to tell you a very specific example of what happened with me. It was the night before one of my university exams. I started off at about 11 p.m. to watch a YouTube video related to anatomy, which is the exam I had the next day. And at 3:30 in the morning, this was June, by the way. You'll see why it was important for me to say that. At 3:30 in the morning, I watched a 45-minute video on how to bake a 30-pound Thanksgiving turkey in your oven. I watched the whole video.
Yeah. I also love watching
I don't
this
eat
food.
turkey.
Yeah.
I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. And it was June.
Yeah. You're Indian living in Dubai,
Yeah.
watching how to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I don't have an oven. I still watched it.
Also, it was the night before your exam.
Yeah.
You're a medical student. Guys, Dr. Ahmed.
Come to me. Use the promo code. Use the promo code TURKEY for
Yeah.
10% off your surgeries. But
Yeah.
so
That's happened to me also a lot actually.
I think
I end up watching like this random video about how this particular species of mantis mates.
right. I've okay. So for those who are watching, I've actually seen Idris's search history, or at least watch history. Okay, I don't know if he searches for these things, but I've seen what he watches. It's weird. I've seen a lot of videos about birds mating in there. A lot.
No.
I've seen a lot of videos about.
Just once I was curious
I have seen 3 at the very
on
least.
how. 'Cause,
No.
I recently got a pair of budgies.
Uh-huh.
They are amazing. They're cute. And I recently got them, and I was honestly just curious because the whole day they're on perches or they're like on flat ground. How then?
No, but I agree. Once is curiosity, 3 times is a problem. Because it wasn't just budgies. There was one about parakeets, and there was one about pigeons as well.
Yeah, because the pigeons is quite interesting. They actually,
Yes.
it's like they twirl around each other.
I don't want to know
weird
this.
thing. Yeah, it's really, dude. Like ducks.
This is what YouTube
Ducks-
does to you guys.
Yeah, dude. Like ducks have a very weird shaped male.
Genitalia?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, male
Okay.
reproductive organ, because they have a tendency to rape.
All
So-
animals, like,
Yeah.
I feel all animals do, right?
So that's why they have like a very weird shaped one. So they don't do it very easily.
Okay.
to
As you
any
guys can
other-
see, like,
Yeah.
we are the relatable neighborhood kids. Like,
Yeah.
we go off on these insane tangents. But getting back to what we were talking
Yeah.
about, the point is, all of us have found ourselves victim, if I can say that, to these YouTube rabbit holes.
Yeah, rabbit holes.
right?
Yeah, that's the correct word. Yeah.
And it seems like, what's the issue? Like, I have
Yeah.
time to waste. So, what's wrong with that?
I wanted to watch a 20-minute long video about funny fails in the history of sports
Right.
or news. And yeah, but
And YouTube helped me watch that. So,
Yeah,
what's the
yeah.
issue, right? Well, firstly, YouTube doesn't have infinite scroll, but it does have the autoplay system.
It does have internet scroll.
Oh, right.
Your homepage does
Right, the
have-
homepage does.
yeah.
But let's talk about when you're in a video. It does have autoplay, right?
Yeah.
Very much like Netflix. That's one way that they get you. But something that is far more alarming. Firstly, the algorithm on YouTube, right? What it does is it creates these rabbit holes. And I swear, I'm not speaking out of turn. Like, you can watch The Social Dilemma for more information. But the guy, one of the programmers at YouTube speaks about this. The algorithm creates rabbit holes for you and puts them in your recommended. And the purpose of that is it wants to see, for example, let's say you click on video 3
Mhm.
out of the 10 or 12 videos that are in the recommended. Firstly, it wants to see which of those 12 videos caught your eye, what kind of content you like to consume.
Right.
And also it wants to know how far in that rabbit hole do you keep your interest.
Mhm.
What video is the one where you're like, nah, I'm not so interested anymore.
Yeah.
And it's
By,
learning you.
by seeing how long you watch that
Mhm.
video for
Yeah,
and how long you watch the other video for.
exactly.
That's
It's
how- yeah.
learning you.
Yeah.
And the reason
So
why
does that mean the AI also understands the content of the video?
I mean, it doesn't understand that it's budgies mating, but it knows what it is, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
AI knows.
I think maybe the way it does is maybe I have no idea about this, but so like if let's say a set of 100 people watched the budgie mating video
Mhm.
and then I went and watched it, that means I am a part of the 100 people
You're in
who
their
watched
bubble.
it. I'm
Yeah.
in that bubble, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's how it wants to kind of
It wants to propagate the same information it gave them to
Yeah.
you and see see what kind of sub bubbles and subsets it can make.
Yeah.
True.
Before we get into this, let's talk about why they want us to be addicted, because I think we have not spoken about that. So I think that's important. Like, so
also,
obviously it's
one
ads.
second. It's also like you said, does it know what it is, right?
Yeah.
Does AI know? Firstly, like machine learning, it's really advanced, right? But not just that. Do you know when you go on some websites and it tells you, like, it's always a nerve-wracking moment for me. Click on the 3 squares that have a car in them.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my god, that has 1 pixel of a car. Should I click on it? But the purpose of that is Google using you to teach their machines.
Or for the picture has in it.
Exactly. The AI is learning depending on what you pick.
So the AI does understand shapes.
100%. Based on you, because of you.
Oh.
Exactly. And that's why, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes, this has happened to me, they just keep giving you pictures.
Yeah. Sometimes it's annoying. Like, am I wrong? Because it doesn't even tell you if you're wrong.
It never tells you.
It just tells you next, and then it shows you another picture, another picture.
There's no right or wrong. The AI is just learning based off of a human's perception.
And I think that Google also has a calendar. So if you have, if Google knows that you do have this 1 hour to spend right now, it'll probably keep showing you pictures for another half an hour then.
Google thinks I've been free for the last 23 years, man.
Well, is Google wrong though?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so why does big tech need us to be addicted?
Obviously because of ads. That's the simplest way to put it.
Revenue,
they want to show
right?
you, they want to show you ads. So like there are companies that in a very simpler way, there are companies that go to Facebook and be like, bro, can you post my ad onto your website?
True.
And Facebook sees what is the product in the ad, and accordingly it shows the people the ads who might want to buy it,
who might be susceptible to it.
Like for example, I would never get an ad for lingerie because I'm a guy. I'm not gonna wear it
because you're a virgin.
I don't identify as a virgin.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's appropriate at this point to say that big tech has 3 main agendas, right? The first is engagement.
Yeah.
It wants the users on the platform to engage for as long as possible.
Right.
The second is growth. It wants more users who are not on the platform to use the platform. And the reason it wants the first 2 is number 3, which is revenue, which is ads.
Yeah.
It needs the first 2 for the third.
The first is engagement. The longer you're there on their applications, the longer you are exposed to the ads that they want to show. So like if let's say they were to show me an ad for an RFID wallet, I don't know why it's in my head, but fine.
It's in your head because we spoke about this 3 days ago and I've been getting non-stop ads for it ever since.
And you never looked it up.
I never looked it up.
But okay, so if let's say it's something it wants to sell to you, it'll keep showing you the ad, and you maybe after a couple of hours or days, you probably will cave in, right? You probably will be like, you know what, let me just check this out. Like, what is this thing? What is RFID?
True.
What is this? You'll go and look it up. Then once you look it up, you're gone. You're gonna get those ads where like, oh, it's 10% off here. This brand is this much cheaper now than it was.
True.
So they just want to get you to engage for as long as possible, so you're exposed for the longest amount of time.
And not just that, they can then study your behavior.
Right. That also, to give you better ads.
To give you quote better for them.
Yeah.
Better for whom?
Better for the company.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then the Facebook can charge more amount of money for the ad because it's so perfect.
True.
Then the second thing is growth. So they want more and more people to come and join. To obviously again to expose the ads to not 10 people, to not 100 people, but to 2 billion people.
And that's so obviously evident. I mean, games tell you invite a friend and get 1,000 in-game coins, or Zomato tells you
what are 1,000 in-game coins
nothing
worth?
It's a line of code.
Nothing.
But think about it, companies value growth so much that companies like Zomato tell you invite a friend and we'll give you, let's say, 50% off.
Yeah.
They're willing to spend actual money on it.
Yeah. But they are spending money once
for a lifetime engagement.
Right. For a lifetime of ads.
For a lifetime of slavery to the tech giants.
Yeah. I don't
we say as we record this on a smartphone.
I honestly like I'm a conspiracy theorist right now because I have a beard.
Bearded conspiracy corner.
It's a shitty beard, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll
I don't
post
think
a picture of
I
it,
don't
don't worry.
I don't think slavery isn't. I think it's an understatement.
Okay, true.
Yeah. But yeah, so the third thing was revenue. So obviously, like when Facebook shows you an ad,
Mm-hmm.
like how if I wanted to post an ad or like stick a picture of something on the highway, right? I would have to pay somebody for it.
True.
So similarly, I would pay Facebook for my products ads because they're going to show it to a lot of people.
True.
And the way that they make so much money is that now if I wanted to stick a billboard onto the highway, it would cost me thousands of dirhams, right? And it would just be there, not moving. If somebody was on the road, they would have a look at it, and maybe they wouldn't because the guy is driving,
True.
right? But on Facebook, it's first of all, it's cheaper because
It doesn't take up any physical real estate.
right, it
Right.
isn't. Yeah, it's cheaper and it is directly shown to you.
And sheer outreach.
Yeah, like you
millions.
don't have to look at the billboard to look at the ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to turn your head, but here you don't have to. It's there in front of you.
It's
You
on
have
your
to
phone.
see it.
Yeah.
You have to. Like the 3-second skip thing on YouTube. Now there are ads that are 3 seconds long. That's it. That's how simple it is for them.
And even, the most, from a marketing standpoint, the most annoying ads are the ones that stick with you.
Yeah.
If it's like a 20-second long ad, you know it. You hear that music anywhere, you're like, God damn it, I
Yeah.
know that company.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
They add those catchy phrases. They add those little sound tunes and the weird way they call the product out, and it just sticks with you.
Yeah, like
It's
so
a
many
unique-
ads are
yeah.
coming to my mind, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, it's like they just want to make them the way they say the thing that they're selling unique,
Mm-hmm.
so it sticks with you. They say it in that particular way. Yeah.
True. So now, I think that's very obvious. That's why they need your
Right.
attention span
Yeah.
and your addiction, right?
So that's how they make money in a way.
True. Now, one thing that's really important to discuss at this point is polarization. And the world, if you take America as example, for instance, but in general, the world itself, the American public has never been as polarized in their political opinion as they are as of this moment. And the reason for that is, let's think about this, right? As new media becomes our daily traditional source of media, that is your form of news.
Yeah.
Facebook
Source of information.
is news now,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
get news on Facebook, and that doesn't mean, I'm not saying you don't read the newspaper, but I'm saying you get your news from new media, which is
Like if somebody sends me a forward on WhatsApp, that's news for me. Like
yeah,
the
technically.
word news has lost its value in it being the truth.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that everyone is gullible and falls for WhatsApp forwards. I'm just saying the thing is, with Facebook and other social media conglomerates, they choose what to show you. And you don't know that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think, for example, if there's any fans of the NBA out there, they would know this. So Kyrie Irving plays for the Brooklyn Nets now. A while ago, he came out and said that he was a flat earther, right? Which kind of blew everyone's minds. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And he got so much backlash for that. And then he went on to NPR, the radio station, and he did an interview. And I completely get his point. His point was, I'm not dumb. It's just that I have been constantly bombarded with these conspiracy theories on my Facebook that, dude, the earth is flat, we haven't been to the moon landing is fake, the earth is flat, and he believes it, and that is what polarization
He just never was exposed to
the opposite.
To the opposite.
That's
Not
what polarization
I don't want to
is.
say to the truth, but just
No,
to the opposite.
just
of
the
it.
opposite perspective. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what polarization is. Facebook decides what's good for you. And
But what made Facebook show him flat earthers
so according,
conspiracies?
I was watching an interview with one of the designers and one of the heads of growth at Facebook. All those three are the three aims of big tech are actually divisions within their company.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the heads of growth at Facebook said this, that what happens is, you remember when you said that if you are one of the 100 people who watch the video of the budgie. Now you're in a subset of the population, right?
Mm-hmm.
A subset that is united by your common love for
Budgies.
budgie coitus.
Budgies.
Let's say it that
Birds. Okay.
Birds.
Burbs.
So that's your subset,
Yeah.
right? And what these apps would do is they would test certain things on you.
Yeah.
They would, let's say, for example, very crudely, but let's say they would give 50 of you information about flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. You could say anything, but I'm just taking flat Earth as an example. And they would see how you like it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were positive, they would A, give the same information to the other 50.
Okay, because we had the
budgie link, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
B, more importantly,
Mm-hmm.
continue to bombard you with flat Earth
Yeah,
information because you were positive about it.
Yeah.
They would never show you
Because
the
that leads
opposite.
to engagement. Yeah.
Think about this. Something really big happened in America recently. It was called Pizzagate. The Pizzagate scandal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into it because it's pretty graphic, but I know you know because we've spoken about
it's
this.
graphic on a podcast.
Think about that, right? We're Muslim, we don't want to talk about that stuff. But, guns and terrorism.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. NSA guy. I didn't mean anything about that. I was just speaking
Yeah.
to my phone.
And also subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you and I, for example, and everyone that I asked after I figured this out, none of us knew about this.
Yeah.
We had no news about this. And obviously we also consume our information and our news on new media. We didn't get this because according to Facebook, I'm not waffling here, but according to Facebook, it's just not something that's interesting to us or consequential to us.
Maybe it's because it's something that happened in America and they know your location. You're not in America.
Exactly. And it was pretty
Right.
big. We didn't know about it.
So basically, also one more thing then there is that they show you ads based off of your location.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. And I think I would want to think about to what extent do they see your location in that sense? Like, do they show everybody in Dubai the same kind of ads? Or is it that do they show everybody in Dubai, in this area of Dubai, the same kind of ads?
I would say it's not a bad thing that ads are location specific. In the sense that
but what I want to get to the bottom of is that how
specific is it?
Yeah, how specific are they?
Okay. Because I remember during the congressional hearing against Facebook, they were forced to reveal the data that they had stored for each consumer. And you can go on Facebook as of now and download it.
Yeah.
And I actually did. And it blew my mind. Firstly, they have everything.
Yeah.
They have messages that you have deleted, messages between you and people who aren't friends on Facebook anymore, messages from between you and people who don't have a Facebook account anymore, messages between you and people who have blocked you and you've deleted them.
Like, I got to see a couple of pictures that I had sent to people on the FB Messenger that after sending I had deleted.
Exactly.
So what is even deleting then?
There's no such thing. Once on the internet, always on the internet,
Yeah.
literally. And they use that to advertise to you, right? They had location information, and it was this weird cycle where other companies were also getting location for Facebook. Like, they would get location information and sell it to Facebook, and then Facebook would sell it to other companies.
Yeah.
And it was insane. They had I remember there was this news story where there was this guy who was getting let's say he was going from point A to point B on a train in the UK, and he was getting random ads on Facebook about a third point C that is between point A and point B.
Okay.
He had never been there, but he was getting ads from restaurants and malls in that location because Facebook knew when he checked his the data they had stored on him. They knew that he had taken that train ride. They didn't know it was a train ride, but they just saw that his phone connected to a cell tower in location C, and they assumed he had been there and started bombarding him with ads.
Yeah.
The age of digital privacy never was and never will be.
Next time you go to the washroom, don't think you're alone.
Yeah, the FBI agent is there, dude.
Dude, he's practically he's there.
And by the way,
right behind the shower curtain.
Your data is worth just $11, best case scenario.
Is that best? I thought that's the average.
That's best case scenario.
Damn, dude, I'm worth more than that at least.
You are worth
Look at my
so
search
much
history,
less than
dude.
that. Because we don't engage in anything. I would say best case scenario, if you are gullible, you click on ads.
I think I am more difficult for Facebook or YouTube because I don't have this particular pattern of videos that I watch, right? I watch like Budgie, then I watch space, then I watch like quantum mechanics.
Okay.
Suddenly it's like, wait, what did Einstein say about that? Oh, okay, let's then it's suddenly like space and it's all like different, like
Do you
anatomy.
Why do you think that's a bad thing?
No, so they can't get me. Wait. Okay, I was gonna say
You're training the AI, my dude.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is that they can't get me into one specific rabbit hole,
But they could get you to 17.
right? And that's, I think, even better for them. Damn. Okay.
And you're training the AI because
And
you watch videos of space
Yeah.
and you click on an RFID wallet.
Yeah.
Let's say you watch 17 different videos
Yeah.
and you click on an RFID wallet.
Yeah.
The AI now knows 17 different data points on which it's experimenting on you, by the way, that, oh, does this subset of people like RFID? Does this one?
Yeah.
You're helping the AI.
Yeah. And maybe that's why even you got the ad for the RFID because
Most
you
probably.
probably have somewhat similar searches.
I have never searched for birds in my life and I never will. But
You
yeah.
should. Dude, cocktail singing
But
is
yeah,
so good.
this is what you're doing to the system.
Yeah.
You have helped them so much that they know I spoke about RFID wallets.
Let's go back to the polarization thing.
Polarization
Basically,
is just one of the things, right?
Yeah.
There's so many other things.
Let's talk about the political polarization first, because that's what I think is more important.
Okay.
Like, it isn't important that somebody's polarized about budgies and not pigeons. I don't know. Yeah, but political polarization is quite important because that's what.
I agree with you, but also, dude, seemingly inconsequential topics. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. Pizzagate was not a political thing. It was a form of polarization where a minority group of people believed, for the life of them, that like completely innocent pizza chains in America had a child sex trafficking ring in their basement.
Yeah.
And it ended with an armed gunman turning up at a pizzeria to liberate the most American thing ever, but to liberate those children. All sorts of polarization is bad.
Yeah. So, about political polarization. In India, obviously, like, I think even if you're not an Indian, you still know about Modi. Right?
So here's the thing, guys. We don't have many subscribers or viewers yet, so it doesn't matter if we get demonetized, but we're probably going to get demonetized.
No, I'm not. I don't think so. Okay. So, a lot of people think that he's like the best prime minister India has ever had. And then the other lot of people think that he's the worst that we've had.
There's only extremism.
Yeah. Like, at a more general scale, it's what you see is like either this or either that. There's no middle ground. There's no one saying that no, he's bad at these things and good at those things. That's not what you hear the most. Now, what I have seen is that when let's say just randomly someone came up and told you that, you know what, Modi's so bad, like he did this and he did that, you'll go home, look up some things about Modi, and then you'll probably do a YouTube search about it and watch a video on it, right? Now you're in that rabbit hole. You're in that subset that does not like Modi. Now YouTube will keep on, or not just YouTube.
It will only
like
give you that perspective.
Yeah, it'll just give you that perspective of, you know what, he did that as well. And you know what, he did this thing which looks good on the face of it, but you know what, he didn't do that thing on that day.
True.
It's like, dude, like, come on. Like, it won't stop. It
Classic
won't stop.
rabbit hole.
Right. And you will never, even for 1 second, want to think of why he could be good, maybe. Right?
By the way, these are just hypotheticals. Like, no opinion is being portrayed at this moment. We're just giving you hypotheticals.
Now, the issue in this is that, for example, if you think Modi is bad because of the things that he did, right? You are now in the rabbit hole of watching people who call him bad, right? And
who may not be correct themselves.
Yeah, one thing is that you don't know the source of information. Like, just because somebody said it on Vsauce, it's true. But that's not how it is, right? Always.
If he says, hey, Vsauce Michael here, are we Vsauce?
Yeah, are we? Vsauce.
We are Vsauce. Okay.
So what happens is that then that person who's calling out Modi bad is also an extremist because he's calling him bad, and it's his livelihood that's depending on him, on calling Modi bad. So like that's how bad a person is that you are watching now, who's calling someone bad, that it has become his livelihood.
Basically, we come back to the same point where news isn't a thing anymore because unbiased truths don't exist.
Yeah.
Everything is opinionated, and
Yeah.
as long as news is opinionated, it isn't news.
Yeah,
It's media.
Yeah.
And that's the only
Yeah.
form of news that exists
Yeah.
as of today, right? So not just polarization, but something that really hit me hard is that we know addiction is there. We know polarization is there. Vanidification is huge. Let me give you a statistic. I hate being that guy, but this statistic hit me hard. Suicide rates in North American preteen girls, so between the ages of 10 and 13, is up by 151%. In teen girls, it's up by, I think it was 60 to 70%.
Preteen is, by the way, 10 to 14.
10 to 13, 14, right?
Okay.
Suicide rates
when
are up.
when Emma told me this statistic, I think 2 or 3 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't click that preteen means 10 years old or 13 years old.
That's young.
That's how young my niece is, and it kind of boggles me right now that at that age there are people trying to commit suicide over what?
Right, so that's the thing. The reason for that is vanidification. They're being fed, firstly, filters, right? They're being fed a false idea of what people should be and how.
Yeah.
So this is also really interesting that there's been a massive surge in the request for plastic surgery and looking more like people look like in filters. And not just that, social media influencers have been force feeding this next generation of children with false ideas of beauty standards, like innate beauty.
Like how what the magazines did.
Exactly.
That you have to be slim and trim, have to have abs and stuff like that, right?
That's being
have
done.
to have fair skin.
Oh, that's a big one, yeah.
And especially in India.
That's being done times 1,000
right.
on social media to kids because there's no controlling who's
they
being
think
advertised
that having
to.
those really huge bubbly eyes is beauty.
Right.
Because you get more likes on it.
100%.
And then eventually they want to get those eyes in real life. And not just as a filter.
It's not just that. The reason the suicide rates are up is because they're depressed. They don't have those eyes. Or they have, according to themselves, big ears. Or someone commented something on their Instagram like a joke, but they took it seriously.
Or their black hair is too mundane. So they want to get like colored hair.
And their parents don't want them to.
Yeah.
And this is insane.
Yeah.
Plastic surgery rates are up.
I think
Suicide is up.
think when we talk about this, right, like the quantification aspect of it, that people want to get those eyes like that, look like that on the filter, and those ears. The first time I heard this, I didn't believe it, honestly.
Same.
I didn't think that there are actually people who want to look like those filters.
100%.
Because I thought the whole point of looking like the filter was being funny.
Yeah.
When it
never struck us that it was an aspiration.
Yeah, when it become about beauty.
100%. Yeah.
Like I thought it was comedy.
But that's the thing, we are 23.
Yeah.
These kids are 10. They don't know the difference.
Yeah.
They might think those are the standards of beauty to aspire to. And that's basically been the entire eye-opener in this whole conversation. That's what we want to talk about. Because new media is new. No form of regulation exists around it. And for example, kids earlier on, maybe their parents wouldn't let them use their YouTube because anything could be advertised to them or they could be exposed to anything. Boom, YouTube for kids.
Yeah.
Kids are being advertised to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to talk about. That's what opened our eyes, that firstly, there is no form of regulation and very few laws that exist for new media because again, it's new. But there's so much going on, and one big issue is that
our laws could not evolve as fast as these companies did.
100%,
and they can't.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
The issue is that in these antitrust congressional hearings, big tech is saying, so we created these problems, right? We'll fix them. Here's the issue, and it's twofold. Firstly, there is no financial incentive to fix these problems.
Yeah.
These problems are making them
Billions.
break into the centi-billionaire club. That's 100 billion plus.
That's, by the way, how much the CEO of the company has, but the worth of the company itself is above.
Worth more than GDPs of countries, and we'll
Right.
talk about why that is. That is a whole different scam in itself. But there's no financial incentive to fix
For them to
themselves.
change. Yeah.
And secondly, once again, I cannot say this enough times, they are programmers or designers. They do not understand the potential repercussions this could have on a psychological level.
Right.
Not just what's happening now, but where this could go.
But I think by now it's just like acting like we don't understand, but the numbers speak for themselves, right? Right? Like,
I agree. Let's say they do understand
Yeah.
right now. We don't know where this big bad monster is going.
Yeah.
There is no way of knowing it because this is the first time in human
we
history.
don't know how big it would get.
No idea.
Like, we know that using fossil fuel will cause the climate to change and etc. But we don't know what this is gonna do.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And on the face of it, actual human interaction is down.
Yeah.
Anxiety is
actually,
up.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to having this barrier of a screen between us. The ability to speak to one another is down because we're so used to being able to hide behind something and think for like 10 minutes for the perfect response, you know?
Yeah. And send emojis.
Send
'Cause
emojis, yeah.
Talking is so boring because you can't like this happens so many times that while talking I want to reference a meme, so I just say like one sentence or a word from the meme, and obviously because the person I'm talking to also knows about the meme, so it works. But sometimes it does not, and I feel like I wish I had like a piece of paper ready to just be like this, the meme.
And also the other person thinks you're insane.
Yeah.
Because what are you saying?
Yeah. Understandable, have a nice day.
Yeah, Idris and I were talking about this the other day. We keep
Yeah.
saying this to ourselves, the understandable have a nice day meme. And he said it to someone and they didn't realize it was a meme.
Yeah. They thought I was being like rude and sarcastic,
yeah, like rude.
And no, it's a meme. But okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an issue.
You know, you watched the episode on Black Mirror about this, the social media episode. I forgot what it's called.
Where they rate one another.
Yeah, but they rate one another on the basis of
Personality and
Yeah.
everything.
yeah, like how you rate the Zomato guy or like right. So in the episode, what happens is, on the basis of your rating, you can get a bank loan or maybe then denied from it. Or okay, a bank loan is still kind of up there, but you maybe won't even get a bus ride because your rating is below whatever number, like below 3.
And you've been rated by your peers.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Now the worst thing about that is that it's being tested in China right now.
Yeah, let's just
IRL.
think about that for a second. That's insane, right?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Black Mirror, the concept. That's insane, right?
Yeah.
Rating one another, and that dictates your popularity rating, basically.
Yeah.
Dictates your ability to get a loan, the speed of your internet,
Yeah.
whether you can get a flight ticket, where you can live,
Or even just bus, dude. Like
a bus ticket,
yeah.
and that's happening.
Yeah.
That is in real life being tested out in China. We have completely got off the big tech thing because
Yeah.
that's a political thing in itself, but that's what we're trying to say. I'm not going to be the one to tell you, guys, let's do it. We're deleting Facebook because we're going to upload this on YouTube. And
Right.
we're
Yeah.
going to hope that
The irony.
this ends up in 1,000 rabbit holes,
Yeah.
right? The point was never that. We are at a point where technology will never be less integrated in our lives now.
Yeah.
It will only be more. But our point was just maybe think.
Yeah, maybe think.
I personally have turned off all notifications on my phone
Same.
except for my phone, like when my phone actually rings, and a couple of people on WhatsApp. And I've noticed, I'm not saying oh my God, I have like hours free, I've been doing physics, I've been making breakthroughs. No, I'm a pretty lazy guy. Procrastination is still my thing. But I've noticed a difference.
Yeah.
I don't reach for my phone for no reason.
I think it's important for people to understand that. So like as in the episode, right? You see that people are living by with that sort of a society that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
People are okay with it. They get happy if they get a good rating. They get sad if they get a bad rating.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there are some people in that episode, and probably will be in real life as well, who rate you badly for no reason,
Out of spite.
out of spite or whatever. But in the episode, all in all, they were kind of okay with it. They were living by. So, like everything has a white and black to it,
That's the biggest crime, yeah.
right? Everything has a white and a black. Now, in the episode, you might want to say that, oh, they are in the black, quote unquote, zone because we are watching them. So for us, they're in the black zone, which is the wrong or the whatever, right? The bad, the evil. But for them, they are in gray because they are okay with it. So they have now diluted the quote unquote blackness or the evilness of the whole society
By accepting
it. So they're kind of in the gray area.
True.
Right? So we are kind of accustomed to believe that there is a white and a black, and then in the middle there is a gray.
True.
So we always think that we are always in the middle, so we are always in the gray. But right now, about these companies, these social media, the tactics that they're using, the addiction, the just these things, and all in all, right? Like the repercussions of these things, we are right now in the black area, and then comes the gray area.
Yeah.
Because we don't know the extent. And honestly, like, even though we have spoken about this whole thing for like what now, I think 40 minutes,
I think
and 40
both
on our second
episodes.
episode?
No, I think it's been like an hour.
Yeah, maybe an hour. We still don't know anything about how they use it or how it works. We just said AI, and fine, you believe it, right? But
Quantum tunneling.
Yeah, but we still don't know how it works and what is it that they're gathering and how they're using it, and we still don't have any idea. Even the guys who programmed it, if you ask one guy, he doesn't know. If you ask 10 people, then they might come up with something. Oh, okay, this is how it works.
True.
They don't know, which means that
that's so concerning.
We are in that black right now, where it is happening to us, and us, the users, don't know that it's happening to us, and we don't want to even accept it. And even if someone came and told you, probably won't believe them. You'll probably give them a tinfoil hat and be like, yeah, wear this and sit at home. But even if, like, right now we gave you a couple of proofs of it is true, we know that we don't want this. We know that we don't want to accept it, but we still can't get out of it. But the point when we know that this is happening to the extent of how much we should know, and we accept it, is when we then fall into the gray that was shown in the episode, that it's cool now, it's fine, rate people and let's see if they can get a bank loan. That's fine then.
And also, don't you think that the only way, for example, when we were talking that people who are pro big tech say that this adaptive period has happened before and we will adapt again, don't you think that if that's the mindset, like we are in the black right now and we haven't reached the gray yet,
yeah,
the only way we will adapt is if something even worse comes up.
Yeah.
And we don't know what that is. And that's where we want to leave you for
on that note. For
today. Just think, we don't want you to delete your social media. Quite the opposite. We want you to share this on all the social media you have. Like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, share this on all platforms that you have. But yeah, like always, stay curious and just think. And we will catch you on the next one. Don't forget to tell us if there's anything you would like us to talk about. It's been your boy Ahmed. That's Idris. We'll see you next time.